Show. I'm your host, Logan Howell. With me today is Coach Magistrelli. Coach, thanks for being here today.
You bet, Logan. Thanks.
So, first question I want to ask you. Last week, quarterback John Beckendorf was out. Was that something you knew most of the week, or was that kind of a late decision there?
Well, it goes back to our second game of the season, which was a couple weeks earlier. We had a bye week in between, and probably about midway through the first half against St. Francis, Illinois, he got tackled and injured his ankle, and with some of the excitement of the game, he was able to kind of play through it. You get that adrenaline going during the game, and he was able to kind of gut his way through it. And it says a lot about John and his competitive spirit and those type of things to be able to make it through that game. When we came back the following week to begin practice during the bye week, he had really swollen up quite a bit, kind of black and blue, and we're kind of in a wait and see mode a little bit to see how it was going to respond, and hoping that, hey, maybe he'd be able to start doing something later in the week. And as the week kind of went by, you kind of realized it wasn't kind of healing as fast as John probably would have liked, and so we went into the next week in preparation for Olivet, realizing that, hey, it was going to be Aaron Kuzma was going to get the start and things like that as we went throughout that week of prep and those type of things.
And speaking of Aaron Kuzma, how do you think he responded and performed in that game?
Well, Aaron's a great example of our program. He's a guy that, as a senior, he's worked his tail off for 4 years in our program, really, shown a lot of improvement, and he's very, very well liked, very well respected by his teammates and the coaches, and I think everybody's excited to have him get a start and get his opportunity and those type of things. So, certainly did some really good things, during the course of the game, but, again, a first college start against a top 25 team, I'm sure there's some plays he'd like to have back to, though.
And then, obviously, Declan Macdonald also saw some action in that game. Did you see anything from him that maybe you thought, if we ever have an injury at QB, we feel comfortable with him? Yeah,
and obviously Declan's the guy that played a little bit the year before. After we suffered some injuries early in the season, he started the last probably 6 games for us, and really got better and better as the season went on a year ago. And so he's a really good athlete. He came in and made some plays with his feet, and to kind of be able to extend some plays, and did some nice things. Throwing the football there late in the game. Had a couple nice drives, one in which we ended up scoring a touchdown, and then ran out of time on the other one. So we have a lot of confidence in Declan as well, and he's got a bright future.
And as we get into some highlights here, what was it like to get back to Brady Street Stadium after your game away?
Yeah, it was nice, to get back to some normalcy. We had, played our initial home game over at St. Vincent, which was a neat experience too, but it's always nice to get back to something that you're familiar with, and that's Brady Street Stadium and kind of the game day atmosphere and some of those type of things back being at home.
And through first year couple contests, turnovers had been a killer. And last week, not as many turnovers. Have you addressed that issue with the offense?
Well, it's something we talk about each and every season. And to me, it's the single biggest, statistic you can look at in determining which team is more likely going to win a football game, the one that wins the turnover margin. And our goal every week is to not only win the turnover margin, but win it by 2. And that's kind of always our goal. We're not always able to accomplish that, but that's always the goal set that we have.
And overall, looking at this Olivet game, how would you describe the performance?
We came out of the gates pretty well. The first drive here, you see us kind of methodically moving the ball down the field. We got a 3-and-out right away defensively. As the first half kind of, went ahead and proceeded there, we started to lose some of that momentum that we had started out the game with. Had some miscues, had some penalties that were extremely costly. I didn't think we played the second half of the first half very well. At times we responded a little bit better in the second half, but it's one of those things where you really have to play well for 4 quarters against a really outstanding football team like Olivet, and I think as the game went on, we got exposed a little bit, not playing our best football.
And one play we just saw there was from Yemi Ward on an end-around play there, kind of more of a special play. Was that something you guys had built into the game plan, a couple more trick plays to try to get the defense guessing?
Well, it was. They are a team that, their defensive ends really like to chase the ball when it goes away, and so something we had seen on film, them really chase that way, and felt like if we could show run action away and then bring a reverse back, that we felt like we had a chance for a big play. And we picked up, I think it was 11 on the play, and so it was a very productive play, and one that we felt like could have even gone for a touchdown.
And speaking of your defense a little bit, they played really well throughout this season, got big stops and multiple opportunities. Who's stepped up in your eyes that's really made this defensive performance possible?
Wow, they all really have. We have played outstanding defense. At times Saturday we had a couple issues on some third downs getting off the field, but outside that, all throughout the first 3 games, they've played extremely well. It's hard to pinpoint one guy, but Zach Alberts' guy in the back end at free safety has played extremely well. Ryan Zickus had the big game a couple weeks ago against St. Francis. Was actually the defensive player of the week in the conference that way. Obviously Bernard Buhaki up front chasing down the quarterback, and so there's a number of different guys that have played extremely well defensively.
And in this matchup now, looking at the third performance in the game of special teams, and the special teams struggled a little bit with the punts. Is that something that you think is more attributed to weather, or?
We did struggle punting the ball. We struggled with some consistency there. Jackson Huntsiger is a sophomore for us that's taken over the punting responsibilities, punting job. He's a guy that has a lot of talent. He's got a really live leg and can really punt the heck out of the football. Certainly didn't have his best performance, Saturday. It's, one of the biggest challenges for him as a young guy is just that consistency, and he didn't have some of his best punts Saturday. We turned around practice yesterday and he was bombing the football. So, just getting him to a more consistent level will be a big key for us. But very confident that he will be able to do that for us.
And when you look at the backfield offensively, it seems to be a 3-headed monster you guys have going right now. Is that something we can expect the rest of the way?
Well, it's one of the deepest positions on our football team. We feel like we have 5 to 6 guys that are very capable. They're at the running back position. The challenge is finding the right balance of being able to play, guys in certain situations and things like that. So that's one where we will continue to play a number of different guys, but it's kind of finding that right balance. And that's one of the challenges that you have as an offense when you do have a deep position group, is one, giving enough guys opportunities, but also making sure that you're playing the right guys in the right situations.
And would you describe the identity of your offense as more of a power run offense?
That's what we're trying to figure out right now. That's part of struggling the first 3 weeks of the season is I don't know we've found our identity quite yet. I think we're very capable of being more of a balanced football team, but we have not had the production in the passing game that we need to have that balance. And as a result, we have had to rely a little bit more on the run game, and sometimes that becomes a little bit predictable. To where we need to get more production out of the passing game to allow us to have that balance that we strive for.
And what were some positive takeaways that you had from the game against Olivet?
Well, obviously you can look at some things, early on, the nice drive offensively, the 3 and out right away. Like, I thought we responded initially to coming out against a good football team and playing really good football right off the bat, and that was good to see. I thought our offensive line played pretty well throughout, both in the run blocking as well as protection. Defensively, I thought we played really well outside of, again, some key third down situations. I thought their quarterback, being a very good athlete, hurt us at times extending plays with his feet and things like that. But I thought we, again, obviously created some turnovers and did some good things defensively.
And one turnover created was by Griffin Zajac, and it seemed like an opportunity there to kind of shift the momentum right before half there. How do you guys look to capitalize on some of those opportunities to kind of shift momentum there? Yeah,
it was a great play by Griff to intercept the football right before the half, and then unfortunately it was the last play of the halftime expired as he ran it back, quite a ways, but obviously weren't able to get it, quite in the end zone. It would have been nice to have that interception, still have some time left on the clock to get the offense out there and try and score yet. We did another nice job the first series of the second half, getting a stop, getting a turnover, getting the ball back to our offense, and then unfortunately we had a shot at a play action pass, and Kuzma was just hit as he was about to throw, and resulted in a turnover on our end. So we weren't able to capitalize on some of the opportunities their defense provided there.
And speaking of Kuzma there, him and Beckendorf this season have had a lot of rushing attempts in these matchups. Is that something we can expect the rest of the way, that quarterback's getting quite a few attempts?
It's part of our offensive scheme. We do a lot of different things where we read the defensive end, for example, and if he chases, we pull, and some of that type of stuff. So some of that is dictated by the defense. So some weeks you'll see more of it than other weeks. Again, just kind of depending upon the defensive style that we're going to face that week.
And what are some things that you left this game wanting to work on as you guys move forward through the season?
Couple things, we as a group getting back to doing what we do well, and I think we're at our best football when we play excited, when we have energy. I thought we started the game that way, and again, as the game went, we really lost a lot of that, and that's something we've talked about as a group. Approach this week in practice, and have been really impressed with our guys and the way that they've come back into practice this week with excitement, with energy. Because it was a frustrating loss. It was a tough loss, and very frustrated afterwards as players, as coaches, know that we're capable of so much more, and very proud of the guys, the way they responded this week coming into practice.
And it seems like Olivet in this matchup tried to use a lot of misdirection offensively, get you to look one way and fire at the other. Is that something that you guys expected from this offense coming into the game?
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes them very dangerous. They do a lot of different things with some motion and trying to get you, like you said, to look one way and really the ball's kind of going the other, or give you a number of different misdirections, and then you add again an athletic and mobile quarterback to all that. That's part of what makes their offensive system very tough to defend.
And one key special teams play made by Olivet was, I believe, a 40-plus yard field goal that they did make later in the ball game. Just looking at a play like that, special teams-wise, is that just something that is just an impressive play you just have to give a round of applause to?
Well, special teams obviously is a big part of the game, and in the first couple weeks of the season, we were able to make some big plays in special teams, and blocking a punt early. We've had some good kickoff returns. We've done some good things within special teams. Obviously, anytime you can kick a long field goal like that, like Olivet did, it's certainly the goal of every drive is to end with points. Obviously, you'd like to finish with touchdowns, but when you're not able to, you got to be able to convert on those field goal attempts.
You're exactly right. And looking at these stats from this matchup here, what's one thing you think you want to work on moving into this week?
We got to have better balance offensively. There's no question. We talked about that in the passing game, and it kind of takes some pressure off the running game. More production on offense in terms of more sustained drives, and obviously resulting in points takes pressure off the defense, and it's one affects the other. And again, I thought we played pretty good defense, especially at times. I think we can play a little bit better offense and put up some more points. We'll play that much better defense, and so again, they kind of go hand in hand, and that's something we're looking to kind of get back to.
All right, Coach, thank you. We will hear from you in just a little bit as well. Next, we'll hear from running back Garret Taiarks. Stay tuned.
Right away, once I got to Ambrose, I was involved. I was on the newspaper. I was working in the broadcasting with the Ambrose television and news production. And through all of those different experiences, I really learned a lot about myself, and I really learned all kinds of skills that I still use today. And I'm really excited and proud that I still use all those skills today, and most of that foundational knowledge came from Ambrose in those classes.
Welcome back to the Coach Magistrelli Show. With us now is running back Garret Taiarks. Garret, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So, first question I want to ask you, when did you get started playing football?
I started playing flag football probably around first grade, and then I transitioned into tackle football when I got into middle school.
And when you went through your college experience, obviously, what led you to pick St. Ambrose?
I really just loved the campus. Ever since I stepped on it, it truly felt like home to me. And then as I got to know more about the football program, it really seemed like a place that I wanted to be.
And what's it been like playing for Coach Magistrelli and his staff?
It's been great. I've loved all the coaches I've had. They really care about us outside of football, and I think they have a lot of knowledge about the game. And so it's really made me grow, not only as a football player, but also as a person.
And practice has been one thing that's been pretty wacky for you guys this year. You've been inside, outside, late practices. How's that affected you?
It's been tough, but you just got to roll with it, whether it's practice at 10 p.m. at night or the normal 4 p.m. We just make do. There's nothing consistent about this year. So.
And what were your thoughts when you first found out that I'm going to be playing football in the spring instead of the fall?
I thought I should go get some more warm clothes because I knew it was going to be cold. But I was a little nervous because I was planning to, kind of move on and take some of my later on classes, my tougher classes. But I ended up taking those in the fall, and I was excited to go this spring.
And do you think any of these changes has affected the team?
I don't think it's really affected the team. It's obviously been tougher on the team, but overall, football is football, whether we play it in the fall or the spring.
And did you have any goals set for yourself coming into this year that you wanted to hit?
I don't really set goals for myself, more so for the team. I wanted to win a conference championship, and that's what the whole team wanted, I think. And we still can do that. We've got to have a little help from other people, but it's still all in front of us right now.
And one thing you guys have been very successful with is rushing the football. You guys kind of have that three-headed monster there. What's it been like sharing a backfield with two other backs?
It's great, actually. I think that we have a lot of backs who can do a lot of different things, and being able to learn from those guys and try to implement that into my game and hopefully having an impact on those guys for some of the stuff I'm good at.
And when you look at the things you do well, is there one thing that sticks out that you do better than the others and the other two do better a little bit better than yourself?
I actually think that we're all pretty much the same. To knowledge, he's a bigger back. He's really the power guy. Ballman, he's got more speed than both of us. I would say I'm kind of in between the two.
And is there anything that you want to improve on for yourself going through the rest of this season?
I just want to work harder and obviously get some wins. I think I need personally to work on pass blocking a little more, especially when we get out around the edge. I need to be able to pick up those blitzers flying down at the QB.
Garrett, thank you so much for your time. Coming up next, we have Coach Magistrelli back to talk about the upcoming game against Trinity International. Don't go anywhere.
I love the culture here at St. Ambrose. It means family to me. I think it's that personal touch you don't receive at a larger institution, and just the values that St. Ambrose has.
We're more than a radio station. We're your neighbors, investing time in our community. We're mentors, guiding the next generation of broadcasters. We're supporters of veterans, partners with social service agencies, and investigators of history. We're dedicated sports fans. We're committed to the stories that make the Quad Cities unique. We are KALA Radio, 88.5 FM, 106.1 FM. Turn it on, turn it up.
Welcome back to the Coach Mike Magistrelli Show. With me again is Coach Magistrelli. And Coach, let's get into this weekend's matchup against Trinity International. What are some things that you're looking for from the team this week?
Well, we face a Trinity team that we faced for a number of different years, and a team in the last handful of years has not had a lot of success in terms of wins. But you look at them on film this year; they're in their second year under Coach Butler. There has done a tremendous job, and boy, it's a different Trinity football team. They're a team offensively that likes to spread you out in a lot of four wides, empties, quad formations. Really like to throw the ball around, and that always presents its own set of challenges. And then defensively, they're a blitz-heavy team, blitz about as much as any team we've ever faced. So those things have really make them a dangerous opponent.
And earlier you talked about trying to find the identity still of the offense. Can we expect a power run game again this week?
Well, I think it's something we're going to have to certainly have. It's the running game is always a big part of what we do. We just need to be able to complement that, both ways with the pass as well, kind of helping us set up some of that run and forcing defenses to play honest and those type of things.
And when you look at it, playing on the road can be an obstacle for any team. Do you think that's going to be a challenge for your team this week?
Well, it always is a bit of a challenge. This week is even more unique in that we play on the road against Trinity, but Trinity International is one of the few teams left with a grass field, which obviously in the springtime here with the snow and mud and those type of things, they're not able to play at the home stadium, so we're actually playing at Roosevelt's home field, which obviously we played on week 1, and at that point it was snow and ice covered, and obviously that won't be the case, but you're playing on the road, you're playing at a neutral site more or less, so there's certainly some uniqueness to this matchup like there is every matchup this year.
And in this matchup, Trinity is 0-3. How do you keep the guys from being a little too overconfident coming into this game?
Yeah, I tell you what, show them the film. You watch them on film, and again, very dangerous offensively. They, their second game of the season, they were down big at the half, 34-0 against St. Xavier, and cut it to 34-28 before St. Xavier held on to win. And I think that right there kind of catches your attention, and they had opportunities a week ago to beat Missouri Baptist before ultimately getting beat by, I believe it was 10 points. So certainly you watch the film, and again, their defensive style, the way they blitz, they're going to have 7 guys up around the line of scrimmage all the time, trying to cause a lot of confusion and those type of things. So that certainly caught players and coaches' attention right away.
And one player on Trinity International is Gino Mastandria, their wide receiver. He's had 2 straight games with over 95 yards receiving. Is he someone that you guys are focusing on defensively this week?
Yeah, absolutely. He's their leading receiver. He's a big play guy for them. Like I said, they're going to spread you out in 4 and 5 wide receiver sets and put him in different positions, kind of utilize his skill set. And obviously we're going to have to, one, know where he lines up and be able to defend him, but at the same time not losing track of the other 4 guys that be out on route. So it's a tremendous challenge for us. Again, it's something from a schematic standpoint that's a little bit different than what you typically face week in and week out.
Coach, thank you so much for talking with me today. And that concludes the Coach Mike Magistrelli Show. Be sure to check out this weekend's game as SAU takes on Trinity International. Thanks for watching. Good night.